My beloved brothers and sisters, Islam teaches us to be kind, patient and forgiving, but Islam never asked you to allow anyone, including family, to harm your heart. Some people confuse patience with silence and forgiveness with accepting toxic behavior. But the Prophet ﷺ never tolerated injustice, disrespect or emotional harm, even when it came from those closest to him. There comes a point when you must protect your heart, your dignity and your mental peace, because Allah does not want you to be oppressed. He does not want you to be disrespected. He does not want you to carry pain that others keep causing. Whether it's a family member, a friend, or anyone else, toxic behavior is never acceptable in Islam. You can love people and still have boundaries. You can forgive them and still distance yourself. And you can be patient without allowing your soul to be destroyed. Your kindness should not become a doorway for someone else's cruelty. Islam forbids oppression even if it comes from those you love. Islam teaches mercy, compassion and patience, but these virtues are never meant to justify oppression. Many people tolerate harmful behavior from loved ones because they believe staying silent is piety. But in Islam, oppression is forbidden no matter who commits it. Whether it comes from a stranger or from your own blood, Allah does not allow you to accept injustice. Your relationship with Him is more important than your fear of disappointing people who mistreat you. Sometimes the hardest oppression to recognize is the kind that comes from those closest to you. Family members may use love, culture, or status to justify their harm, expecting patience to cover their wrongdoing, but Allah sees every injustice. And He never commands you to remain silent when your heart and dignity are being crushed. A believer is patient, yes, but not at the cost of allowing harm to continue. When oppression comes from loved ones, it confuses the heart. You begin to question your worth, your intentions, even your sanity. But Islam brings clarity. Oppression is a sin, not a misunderstanding. A toxic behavior is wrong even if the person doing it is your parent, sibling, spouse, or relative. Your duty is to honor them, but honoring does not mean tolerating cruelty. You are allowed to step back, set limits, and protect your heart. Allah does not want you to carry wounds that others refuse to stop causing. He does not want your kindness to become a doorway for someone else's destructive behavior. Oppression from family can feel heavier because it comes wrapped in expectations. Respect me, obey me, don't speak up. But respect in Islam is never a blank check for someone to harm you. Respect must be mutual and boundaries must be honored. Too often, people weaponize religious teachings to silence the oppressed. They tell you patience means enduring mistreatment, forgiveness means accepting abuse, and family ties mean allowing emotional harm. But this is not Islam, this is misuse of religion. The Prophet ﷺ never told a believer to remain in harm's way. He stood against injustice even when it came from his own tribe, his own family, his own people. Oppression in any form, emotional, verbal, financial or physical, is forbidden in Islam. You are not obligated to endure insults, manipulation, humiliation or disrespect just because the person is related to you. Allah is more just than to command you to tolerate a pain that destroys your well-being. You can honor family with distance, with boundaries, with dignity. Staying silent in the face of injustice is not patience, it is self-harm. When oppression comes from loved ones, many people stay because they fear causing conflict or being judged. But protecting yourself is not a sin. Harming someone is. Allah will not question you for leaving a toxic environment. He may question you for enabling oppression by staying silent. Your heart is an amanah from Allah, and you are responsible for safeguarding it even from your own family. Allah condemns oppression so strongly that He declared it forbidden upon Himself. If the Creator refuses to wrong His creation, how can He ask you to accept wrongdoing from others? Islam is a religion of justice, not blind obedience to harmful behavior. When someone hurts you intentionally, the wrong belongs to them, not to you. You are not guilty for setting limits, they are guilty for crossing them. Many families normalize toxic patterns because it has always been this way. But Islam did not come to preserve harmful traditions, it came to correct them. You are not commanded to keep repeating the cycles of pain your parents or grandparents endured. Islam gives you the right to break generational harm even if others don't understand. Allah knows your intention and He supports the oppressed, not the oppressor. The Prophet ﷺ said, help your brother, whether he is the oppressor or the oppressed. How do you help the oppressor? By stopping them from committing oppression. This means that challenging harmful behavior is not disrespect, it is mercy. It helps the oppressor recognize their wrongdoing before they accumulate sin. You are not harming them by setting boundaries. You are helping them reform. When you tolerate oppression silently, you unintentionally allow it to grow. Just as injustice spreads in society when left unchallenged, it spreads in families when ignored. Your silence may protect temporary peace, but it destroys long-term well-being. Islam teaches balance, patience with kindness, but firmness with injustice. This balance protects your heart and preserves your dignity. The emotional injuries caused by family can be the deepest because you expect safety, not harm. But Allah sees every tear, every frustration, every moment you stayed silent to keep peace. He knows the battles you fought alone, the disrespect you endured quietly, the pain you swallowed to remain polite, and He promises justice either in this world or the next. Nothing you experience is overlooked by Him. If someone's behavior pushes you away from peace, from confidence, from self-worth, or from Allah, then distancing yourself is not disobedience, it is protection. Islam never required you to sacrifice your mental health for the comfort of others. You can love someone and still choose space. You can forgive someone and still refuse to accept repeated harm. This is not rebellion, it is wisdom. A believer stands against oppression because Allah Himself stands against it. Even within families, justice must prevail. The Prophet ﷺ corrected his loved ones gently but firmly when they were wrong. He never allowed emotional manipulation, harshness, or disrespect to be normalized. His example teaches us that true love involves accountability, not blind tolerance. Oppression from loved ones often lasts for years because victims hope things will change on their own. But Islam teaches that oppression ends when you take a stand with calmness, wisdom, and dignity. You are not asked to fight with anger, but you are asked to speak with truth. Oppressors thrive in silence, but their power weakens when boundaries are established. Setting boundaries is not un-Islamic. It is a form of self-respect and a form of protecting your heart, which is a trust from Allah. Boundaries teach others how to treat you and teach you how to protect your soul. The Prophet ﷺ set boundaries with people he loved deeply. You can too. Islam does not forbid distance, it forbids harm. When you stand up to oppression kindly and firmly, Allah places strength in your heart. You begin to see that you are not weak. You were just conditioned to accept what you should have rejected. You realize that your silence was not patience, it was fear. And once Allah strengthens you, you discover a courage you never knew you had. Allah promises relief to the oppressed. The moment you choose truth over fear, dignity over silence, and justice over comfort, Allah opens doors you thought were closed. You feel lighter, freer, calmer. The emotional chains begin to break. This freedom is not rebellion. It is the mercy of Allah guiding you toward a healthier life. Oppression from loved ones is one of the hardest tests, but also one of the greatest opportunities for spiritual growth. It teaches you about self-worth, boundaries, resilience, and trust in Allah. You learn that it is possible to love someone without allowing them to harm you. You learn that protecting your heart is not selfish, it is obedience to the one who created it. And when you finally understand that Islam forbids oppression in all forms, even from those you love, you begin to walk with a new kind of strength. A strength rooted in faith, not fear. A strength that allows love without losing dignity, patience without accepting harm, and forgiveness without tolerating injustice. This is the strength Islam wants for you. The strength to honor your heart, protect your peace, and stand for justice with the same courage the Prophet ﷺ taught. Emotional abuse is still abuse, no matter who does it. Emotional abuse is one of the most overlooked forms of harm because it leaves no bruises, no scars, no visible wounds. But Islam recognizes emotional pain just as deeply as physical pain. A harsh word, constant criticism, silent treatment, manipulation, and disrespect. These can break the heart in ways physical harm never could. And just because the person causing the pain is a family member does not make the abuse acceptable. Wrong is wrong, no matter who does it. Often, emotional abuse is dismissed because the abuser hides behind roles. A parent, a spouse, a sibling, an elder. They justify their words by calling it love, discipline, or advice, while the victim slowly loses confidence, peace, and self-worth. But Allah does not accept cruelty disguised as care. The Prophet ﷺ was the most gentle in speech, even when correcting others. Emotional harm is not a sign of authority, it is a sign of injustice. Emotional abuse drains the soul in ways that exhausted bodies can't express. A person may carry trauma silently for years, questioning their worth because someone close to them constantly belittled them. Islam does not ask you to normalize this pain. The one who hurts you emotionally is accountable before Allah, even if they are beloved to you. Emotional wounds are real wounds, and Allah is the witness to every one of them. Some people tell you to be patient with emotional abuse, as if patience means accepting mistreatment. But patience in Islam never means allowing your dignity to be crushed. Patience means responding with wisdom, not tolerating injustice. The Prophet ﷺ himself walked away from situations where his heart was harmed, and he never instructed anyone to remain in an environment that destroys their spirit. Protecting your emotional well-being is not a lack of sabr, it is obedience to Allah. Words have power. The Prophet ﷺ said that a person may speak a single sentence without thinking, yet it becomes a cause of destruction. Emotional abusers often speak carelessly, not realizing the weight of their words. They joke about your insecurities, mock your struggles, or belittle your dreams. This is not family talk. This is not just how they are. This is abuse, and Islam does not excuse it. Emotional abuse harms your connection with Allah because it leaves you feeling unworthy, unloved, and broken. A heart constantly hurt by people struggles to feel hope, but Allah reminds you, do not weaken and do not grieve. Emotional abuse may dim your spirit, but Allah never allows it to extend.